Welcome, guys. It's Coach Wilson here, and welcome to Metabolic Makeover. Time and time again, I see people struggling to lose weight, eating very few calories, and doing tons of cardio. So, shouldn't the pounds be dropping off for somebody for doing all the exercise and doing all the dieting? Well, not if your metabolism has been damaged through a faulty fitness lifestyle that is often prescribed poorly to most people. Here's what you need to know about metabolism and how to fix it. Well, firstly, what causes a broken metabolism? To put it simply, a damaged metabolism is typically caused by prolonged excessive calorie restriction combined with excessive physical activity. So right now I'm talking to your dieter, your dieting addict, and your excessive cardio addict. The long distance runner, the gym bunny that bounces from class to class. These kind of cases that are likely damaging their metabolism. You might be wondering why in the world your weight isn't budging if you're only eating 1,000 calories and doing hours and hours of cardio every day. After all, you know that you need a calorie deficit to lose weight, right? It makes common sense, move more and eat less. And you think it's obvious that your deficit is more than enough to help you lose weight. So it's no wonder why you might be frustrated if you're doing all the right things, or at least you think they're doing all the right things. You're putting in all this effort, but you're not getting the results that you want to be seeing. And this here is the problem. Your calorie deficit is more than enough, way more than enough. However, it would be prudent to understand that this calorie deficit is only on paper, as your true energy deficit is little to nothing due to metabolic adaptations. Now, what I mean by this is that imagine a seesaw. Okay, and let's say that on one side we have a massive calorie deficit, so the seesaw tips in that direction. And the other end of the seesaw is up in the air. Well, what your metabolism does is kind of like turning down the thermostat. It brings the other side of the seesaw to balance back out again. So then what happens, your metabolism is lowered, and that energy of calories that you're getting into the body is now the norm. It's now normal, which makes rebounding the weight a lot easier. You go back to eating normal again, and you notice that you end up putting the fat on very, very easily. So why is it so important to eat enough calories to lose weight? Well, your goal should be, this is what we want to be focusing on with Metabolic Makeover, is your goal should be eat as much food as possible and still allow yourself to drop body fat. So when we find that place where we can eat as much food as we want to, as possible, but we're still dropping body fat, we found that Goldilocks point where we want to hang out at, where we know that our metabolism and our thyroid is healthy. So when you don't eat enough, important metabolism regulating hormones begin to down-regulate. Hormones such as the thyroid hormones and leptin start to lower to create homeostasis in the body, as we just mentioned with the seesaw effect. Not only that, but muscle tissue begins to break down and to be used for energy. Now, absolutely, muscle weighs on the scale. So this is one question that when somebody's doing a diet or doing lots and lots of cardio, they need to ask themselves the question, yes, I'm losing weight, but before I get excited about this, where is that weight coming from? Most cases, these guys getting excited about losing weight in these swimming clubs and running excessive amounts of cardio and these kind of things, they're getting excited about it, but they're sacrificing their muscle tissue, their lean mass. They are sacrificing their metabolism. So what they're helping is, yes, they're getting lighter, but they also start becoming weaker and saggier versions of themselves. This is not what people want. Okay? It's fat loss that we want, not weight loss. It's fat loss that we want, not weight loss. Not only that, bone density starts to decrease, and organ mass can also decrease on a calorie deficit. So yes, you may be losing weight, but you've got to ask the question, where is this weight coming from? Now, we want that weight coming from excess fat and water retention. Okay, we don't want it coming from bone density, muscle mass, and organ mass. This reduction in lean body mass also, as we mentioned moments ago, is going to slow down your metabolism, since muscle tissue is the most metabolically active tissue in the body. In other words, it eats fat, okay? And it's burning calories all day long. You do not want to lose that stuff. So what about all the cardio that you've been doing? Surely it's burning calories, right? Well, yes. But just as your body adapts to lower calories, it also adapts to exercise. So when you start running, and the 20 minutes was helping you to lose weight, the 20 minutes of running no longer helping you to lose weight, so you do more and more and more, and it quickly will expend fewer and fewer calories each time you go out for a run, because your body adapts to that workout and the physical demands of that workout. Your body is efficient, so then it needs less calories by doing the same amount of physical work, because your body is so efficient. Eventually, you're going to need to do more and more of that exercise to get the same effects. So then you're spending more time away from home, more time away from the business and your work, and just to get the result that you're trying to get through cardio. It's a poor method to be using. Two main causes of a broken metabolism is severe calorie restriction, okay, through dieting, and through excessive exercise. They cause a negative feedback loop that requires you to eat less and exercise more and more and more to maintain the pace of the weight loss. Okay, so then it consumes more and more of your time and your willpower. No wonder people can't keep this up. Obviously, you can only do it for so long before you end up feeling sick, tired, or injured, or just end up giving up. So what happens when you're not eating enough calories? The majority of the time, when you're having a problem losing weight, it's not because you aren't making good food choices. The reason why your weight loss has stagnated is because you're not eating enough calories to lose the weight. Let me just have a sip of coffee. And let me repeat that again. So the reason why your weight loss has stagnated isn't because you're not doing enough and you're not eating and you're eating too much. It's because you're not eating enough calories to lose the weight. So what happens when you're not eating enough calories? Well, slows down thyroid production, decreases muscle mass, lowers testosterone levels, decreases leptin levels, and decreases your energy. When most people start dieting, they slash their calories in half and they tend to add a large amount of exercise to their daily routine. That's fine, but they usually cut the calories way too low, and then they add the extra exercise, and they have to keep adding extra exercise because their body's adapting to that particular exercise. And all of a sudden, you have an extreme calorie deficit that is now working against you instead of for you. Not eating enough calories causes metabolic damages. Okay, your body is, it's a smart machine, and it senses large decreases in dietary energy. The body thinks of survival, it does not think of vanity. So when you want to start losing weight because you're feeling in disgust, because you maybe Saturday night nothing would fit and you didn't feel comfortable, and then on Sunday you was untagging yourself from all those photos because you just couldn't bear to look at yourself, and you stand in front of the mirror and you just can't look at yourself. So you tell yourself on Monday, right, I'm going to go on a diet, and I'm not going to eat anything until I'm hungry, and I'm going to do loads and loads of cardio. Worst thing that we can do. Your body doesn't think of vanity, it doesn't get rid of the body fat. What it thinks, initially, you might see some change, but what's going to happen over a prolonged calorie deficit is that the body switches into survival mode. It thinks, right, how long is this calorie deficit going to be? Okay, I'm going to have to turn down the thermostat. Slow down the metabolism, get rid of muscle tissue. Great, you're losing weight, but where is that weight coming from? Is all this making sense to you guys? Light bulbs should be triggering off right now, and if they are, this is good. This is good. We're getting onto the right path of where we need to be to start taking you some actions towards to where we want to be once and for all. So a large calorie deficit might work for a few days or even weeks, but eventually your body will wake up and sound the alarms that it needs to conserve energy. And in particular, it gets rid of fat from the arms and the legs, so you look good in clothes, but stand naked in front of a mirror and you've got this spare tire around your tummy that you just can't seem to shift, where all the fat has accumulated around the torso to conserve the energy, to keep the organs and the vital organs warm, and to preserve that energy. So what we effectively need to do, and what we're going to be doing over the next 6 weeks in Metabolic Makeover, is to speed up that metabolism. And I'm going to show you the steps and the habits to put fat loss on autopilot. It doesn't want to waste energy in your body. It needs energy. In other words, it needs fat to survive. So what does your body do when it senses prolonged periods of energy restriction caused by not eating enough calories or doing excessive amounts of cardio? Well, it slows down thyroid production. Your thyroid is responsible for fat, carbohydrate, and protein metabolism, among other things. Your body has the ability to slow down thyroid output, so turning down that thermostat, in an effort to maintain that energy balance, bringing your mind back to that seesaw effect. It also decreases muscle mass, the most metabolically active tissue in the body. Muscle is highly calorie intensive to maintain. You've got to eat a lot of calories to maintain that muscle tissue. Okay, it's bloody hard to put on muscle tissue. In a prolonged extreme calorie deficit, it is one of the first things that the body looks to get rid of, especially if you're not providing it a stimulus to keep that muscle on your body. So if we are trying to lose fat, guys, we want to maintain lean muscle mass, because the more lean muscle mass we have, the higher our metabolism is, like turning up that thermostat. Also, as we lose weight, we don't want to end up with saggy skin, so we want that connective tissue, that strong lean mass, to hold the skin in place and not end up like a deflated balloon. So we got to do things the right way, right? But also, to achieve fat loss, we need a slight calorie deficit, absolutely, but not the extreme one that people tend to do with doing more diet and doing more cardio, and end up breaking their metabolism. What we need is to maintain that lean muscle mass. So to do that in a calorie deficit, because remember, muscle mass is the first thing to go. Well, in a calorie deficit, it only must be a slight deficit, but we also must stimulate the muscle, and we do that through strength training. Your body needs fat, and it wants fat, and the muscle, well, that can be spared. So that's the first thing to go, and this is why it's essential to do the strength training. It breaks down muscle tissue so it can use it for energy. Another thing that happens as well in a low-calorie deficit diet, pretty much probably the majority of the dieters and the gym goers that I will speak to, another thing that happens is lowers testosterone levels. An important hormone for both men and women. Testosterone is just one of many hormones that is affected by severe calorie restriction. Testosterone is an anabolic muscle tissue. Without it, it becomes that much harder to maintain, let alone put on muscle mass. It's bloody hard to put on that muscle mass. Another thing that happens as well is decreased leptin levels. Now, leptin is one of many energy regulating hormones. More importantly, it's the hunger hormone that tells you whether to eat or not. So if leptin isn't working, if you've got leptin resistance, then you won't know when you're full. You won't know when to stop eating. High leptin levels signal that it's okay to stop eating. Well, low leptin levels are a signal that you should be eating more. And because of this, leptin levels decrease in a calorie restrictive environment because you're not eating as much food. And therefore, again, think of that seesaw effect, how the body adapts, turning down that thermostat. Another final thing that happens as well is your decreased energy levels. Being on it, yes, great, you're losing weight on the scale, but you're able to perform at work. Your job, you're sacrificing your job, the enjoyment out of your job. You're not present at home. Okay, you're always moody. You're always in arguments and these kind of things. You got no energy. It's no wonder. But great, you're losing weight on the scale. So decreasing energy, there are many physical actions your body takes when you're not eating enough calories, but there are some mental ones as well. Neurotransmitter production is very, very limited in a calorie deficit, which means that your motivation will lead to a lack of motivation in a calorie deficit. It's no wonder we can't keep them up. It's the body's way of telling you to slow down and conserve energy. So you want to get more stuff done? You want to be more, do more, have more? Then we're going to need energy. And we're going to have to look after this flesh vehicle, okay, the body that allows us to do everything, okay? All right, here we go. So how do we speed up the metabolism? And how do we get it back to normal? Well, to speed up the metabolism, all right. Now that you know what causes a broken metabolism, let me tell you what you can do to get it back to normal. First and foremost, you must not overly cut calories, okay? Now, I realise at this point, that's the after effect for a lot of you watching this right now with a damaged metabolism, with a low lean mass, that has done the diets, that have done the cardio pounding on the pavements. But it is also important to understand so that it doesn't happen again. Okay, so the first thing to do is know that we don't want any large calorie deficits. You know this. If you've done these diets and things like this, you go into a vicious cycle of yo-yo dieting. You lose the weight, but you rebound the weight and plus 10 pounds. This is not the way that we want to go. So there's a little bit of reverse damage that we've got to do. All right, so let's move on. Second, if you are doing long hours of cardio every single day, it's time to cut it back. If you want to get lean, it's time to cut it back. An hour, a few days a week is definitely more than enough. I'd much rather see people doing more intense strength training, like 3-5 days a week, and then leaving the additional cardio as like a back pocket weapon that we can use later down the line if weight loss or fat loss truly does stall, okay? Instead of throwing everything at it all at once, then, buggering up your metabolism. The next thing, it's time to slowly start adding calories back into your diet through a process called reverse dieting. So over the course of a few weeks to months, you need to start adding about 20 to 50 calories into your diet here and there. The key to getting your metabolism back to normal without fat gain is to do this slowly. Okay, so if your metabolism is in the gutter and then you go straight back to eating, 2,000 calories a day, you're gonna gain weight. Okay, so we need to do it slowly, like baby steps, to nudge that metabolism up gently to turn the thermostat back up again. And we do that by adding about 20 to 50 calories each and every day into your diet over the course of the next couple of weeks to months. Okay, there really is no rush with this. The key to getting your metabolism back to normal without the fat gain, okay, is to do this slowly. Please remember that. Just as you should have done in the opposite direction, right? You didn't gain the weight overnight, okay? It slowly creeps on, okay? And now we've got to slowly creep it back up again. So patience is really going to pay off in this game. And if you possess patience, you're already a step ahead. So hence the term reverse dieting. Adding just 50 calories into your diet every week for 10 weeks, well, that results into an extra 500 calories daily that you'll then be eating each day. And I think you might be surprised then that somewhere along the line, your weight loss actually starts to pick up again, okay? Which I'm really looking forward to you seeing. In order to do this right now, you have to put on a little bit of, put the worry of weight gain, take it out of your mind. Just put it aside. Okay, we should not be concerned with the scales at this point of time when we are in this situation of previous damaging the metabolism. Don't blame people. I don't ever blame people because it's society, it's information, it's the slimming diets and the slimming companies and clubs and things like this that really do a terrible job at educating. But with that said, the buck has to stop somewhere, and that starts with responsibility. So I don't blame people. Okay, but I hope, as an educator, as a teacher, that this information does get out there to wake people up. We know that, things aren't working. There's more diets, there's more plans, there's more solutions, there's more supplements, there's more books, there's more endorsements than there has ever been in history. But this year, people are fatter, sicker, and obesity is on the incline more so than last year, and it's increasing at a rapid rate. We know that the message out there is the wrong one, and without your help of being pioneers in this message, then there's no hope for people. It's going to get worse. Those that can be saved will be saved. So I hope this message is really hitting a few strings, and if it is, then that's perfect, because something obviously isn't going right for you at the moment. We need to start making those steps, and I'm going to be helping you through that process by putting fat loss on autopilot by implementing these habits. Could not be easier. You're going to be pleasantly surprised how efficient, effective, and simple the process is going to be. All you need to do is show up and implement. Okay, cool. So in order to do this right now, we have to put that worry of weight gain out of our mind. Okay, we foolishly have done these diets and sacrificed weight loss, but the wrong kind of weight loss, from muscle mass, bone density, organ mass, and some fat mass. But now we're seeing that this isn't working anymore. What we need to do is go and put some healthy weight back on you, increase your lean mass, and the fat mass will come off. Absolutely, you will lose inches, you will lose size, and make sure you have done front, side, back photographs, because that is, in my opinion, the best measurement that you could take. Because when people say, have you lost weight or fat, you'll be like, no, but you see every single increment of change, but people, not so close to you or even close to your friends and family, they see the bigger gaps, so they notice the impact of the change. So make sure you've done your photos. So your maintenance calories, or your BMR, well, trust me when I tell you that your maintenance calories should be not under 1,000 calories. You should not be eating under 1,000 calories. Even though your weight is neither increasing or decreasing at that amount, we should not be eating any less than 1,000 calories. And then there's calculators online that you can go and find out with your activity level what your maintenance calories should be. Okay. And as you increase your calories, those important metabolism regulating hormones will begin to upregulate, which is what we want. We want the thyroid working for itself again. Thyroid hormone will increase, leptin hormone levels will increase, and we'll stop signaling starvation and that feeling of hunger, and muscle tissue will also to be spared and even increase. And if we can increase your lean mass, then we're laughing. Okay. So for this to work, you must be patient. Metabolic damage usually occurs from years and years of binge and purge cycles, also known as severe dieting, followed by an even bigger period of overeating. Does that raise any hands? So you go on a severe diet or a strict diet, and then that's followed by a couple of months of or a bigger period of overeating, right? And then we go back around the cycle. I've got to go on a diet again. I'm here, and I'm excited about the concept of pulling you out of this, pulling you out of the abyss, pulling you out of that vicious cycle, that loop, okay, so that you can achieve a true transformation. Slow and steady wins the fat loss game, and I'm here for the long run. I'm not here to just give you quick wins, quick highs, and get that feel-good factor, short and temporary, and then leave you stuck in the mud. I'm here to give you a transformation, and you've got to have that patience. You've got to understand that slow and steady wins the fat loss game. The longer you take to lose the fat, the more successful you will be in the long term. Calorie deficits only need to be 10 to 20% lower than your maintenance calories for it to be effective. So these dieters that see a little bit of results going on low calorie, then they stagnate, and then they go and have, restrict it by another 500 calories. It's bad news. It's bad news. You only need to find out what your maintenance calories are, and then have a deficit of 10 to 20% lower than that maintenance calories, okay, for it to be effective. Okay, so that way we keep your metabolism high and we're achieving fat loss and we're stimulating muscle tissue by doing strength training 2 or 3 times a week. Anything more and you start to veer into a dangerous metabolism destroying territory, a no-go zone. Okay. And for a lot of people, as I mentioned, they will never return. They will continue going down that dark road. They won't be pulled out of it. So take care of your metabolism, look after it, and your fitness lifestyle will be much, much more enjoyable and easier to maintain. So that's a wrap, guys. Any questions that you may have, I'm open. All you need to do is send them over to info@theteamworkout.co.uk, post them up into the members area group. Let me know once you've watched this introductory video. I'm super, super excited for everybody taking part in the metabolic makeover because I know the people involved are going to see true transformations and not just quick hit results. So I am really, really excited. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve and support you inside the group, online, on the phone. I'm here to help you out, guys. So the next step is for you to go and watch Habit 1, implement Habit 1, and we will meet up in a week's time for the coaching webinar, and I will see you then. Thanks for watching.